Popbangcolour. Hi there. Welcome back to Continuous Car Drawing Live, Driven In, Drawn Out, episode 6. I am joined by another Toyota owner in the name of Adam C. And he has got his, well, of course, it's a white Chaser. Of course it is. How you doing, mate? All right?
Hello, hello. Everyone loves the white Chaser. Do you love it?
I mean, I have got all the colours in there to draw whatever colourful car.
And this is what I've provided.
I mean, you've got a yellow 350Z.
I do, yes.
Got a red MG.
Yep.
You've got
Blue Cobra. I've ticked off all of the primary colours.
Yep.
So I'm going back to a blank canvas.
Oh, thanks. You know my paper is white.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Right.
Easy.
So basically, I just drew an outline and I'm done.
Easy work.
This is going to be the short
I can go home in 2 minutes.
All right. A bit rude. Never mind. I'm going to go over there.
Good.
First of all, we need to set up the live.
Yeah.
People are going to watch it live.
Yeah.
There's some questions. And we'll just talk about what we've done over the last kind of 3 years, really, from when we last chatted during those lockdown years to
now. And you can discover why everyone loves a white Chaser.
well, I'm looking forward to finding out. I am. Right. Can I have your Hot Wheels? 'Cause I haven't got that one.
No.
Good. Right. So
I've been asked if I want a kiss by a fan of mine.
do you want to kiss? Well, I mean, we can kiss if you want.
I think he wants to kiss me.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
And waves and smiles.
Okay, waves and smiles.
Waves and smiles are good.
I think I prefer waves and smiles to
I
kisses.
do as well.
Right, so I'm going to draw your Chaser.
Yeah.
Whilst we talk about your Chaser, whilst you're sat in your Chaser.
I am sat in the Chaser.
How many times can I say Chaser?
Chaser, Chaser, Chaser.
Chaser, Chaser, Chaser.
What does everyone love?
A white Chaser.
White Chaser.
Apart from me, because it could have been any other colour car.
Yeah, so Ian's annoyed because my car isn't of a colour and Ian is Popbangcolour, not Popbang White Chaser. So
I'm going to rebrand.
Yeah, Popbang White Chaser.
Popbang White Chaser. Just for today.
Yeah.
Previously, we've done your Cobra.
Yes.
We've done your MG. And we've done...
We did the Nissan when it was blue.
It was blue, not yellow. But now it's yellow.
Not yellow, yeah.
And now you put your Nissan wheels on your Chaser.
So you've actually already drawn these wheels once before.
I know I recognise them from somewhere.
But they were silver, now they're white.
Now they're white. I've got a nice image of your car here with a nice gate post in the background.
Yes. Are you going to remember to draw the fog lights in yellow? Because that
yes,
picture...
I've got a different photo of it. I've got this photo of it with lights on.
There we go.
So I just think that angle's nicer because you've got a bit of wheel.
Yeah.
It's showing a bit of wheel. So let's talk about this, the car that I'm drawing. Let's talk about it. Why did this need to be purchased? You've been after one for a long time. So let's jump in at the deep end and go, why the Chaser?
Yes, so yeah, I am sat inside my Toyota Chaser, my white Toyota Chaser. I am known for filming cars leaving car meets, amongst other car-related videos, mostly car shows, car meets. And whenever a Toyota Chaser specifically would leave a car meet, it would tend to do it in such a manner to attract the attention of the viewers, which is another way of saying it would send it. So people would end up loving the Chasers, and a lot wouldn't know what they were because these are import only, so that we never got them in this country. So go back about 5 years or so, there was only a handful on the scene. So everyone would comment like, oh, what was that? Oh, that was amazing, because it sounds good, it looks all right, and the majority of them are white because of being Japanese JDM. That was like a popular colour in the 90s especially. So I think it might have been in 2017, I coined the phrase, everyone loves a white Chaser, and that kind of stuck through the video and it ended up being my most well-known phrase.
And you get t-shirts and stuff like that.
Even t-shirt, the best-selling t-shirt and hoodie of mine is the Chaser, everyone loves a white Chaser t-shirt and hoodie. Available at adamc3046.com.
Of course. Naturally.
And yeah, naturally. I was kind of, everyone was telling me, oh, I need to get a Chaser, because I'm like, oh, everyone loves a white Chaser, well, why don't you get one? And I never actually considered getting one. I never thought about it because it's not the kind of car I'd typically own, because personally I like naturally aspirated cars, I like V8s, I like British cars. But I think in general, I felt like I had to. So in the summer of last year, I decided that I would get one. before the next Adam C Fest. So yeah, summer of last year I was like, no, I'm gonna get one before my next show. Told myself that. So in November, December time, I eventually found one that ticked all the boxes. A white, I thought it'd be funny to get one that isn't white, but I ended up with a white one, obviously. A white Toyota Chaser JZX 100, which is the generation. So you've got like the 100, the 90, 80, 70, depending on what generation it is. And it's a Tourer V, which is the top spec. So it's got the 2.5 litre turbocharged engine, which is the 1JZ, which is similar to the Supra's 2JZ, which is a 3 litre. But yes, the Chaser was meant to be a sports sedan, so it had a similar engine to the Supra, but in a big four-door barge of sorts. And that's why it grew in popularity. But as I said, yeah, go back 5+ years ago, they were hardly in on the scene. And then a few years down the line, a few more were imported. And now, every single car meet you go to, you're almost guaranteed to see a Toyota Chaser, and it's very likely for it to be white in colour. And that's partially down to the movement that I've begun. And they've also tripled in value since then as well. So I've ended up having to spend more than I would have otherwise.
So because you made it cool,
yes.
Now you've bought one. You've kind of burnt yourself a little bit there.
Yes.
By making them popular.
Yes.
They're now 3 times the price.
Yes. But I think they will continue to rise in value, like a lot of JDM cars have been doing. I don't think they'll quite get to the R34 levels, the R34 GTR levels of value. Definitely not, but maybe in line with the R34 GTT. They're less value at the moment, but I think they will raise at a similar rate to that, in my opinion.
Because the R34s now are like, they're kind of like a good one with a good history. You're talking 100, over 100 grand now, 110.
So if you want an R34 GTR V-Spec Nur 2 in Bayside Blue, I think that is like the cream of the crop. You can be looking at 200 grand. Some have sold for in that region.
Well, saying that, just at the weekend at Race Retro, a Sierra Cozzy.
Oh yeah.
600 grand.
No, that's ridiculous, is what that is. But if anything, that proves that electric cars aren't the future, because people with that kind of money are sensible enough to know they're not going to invest that kind of money in something with the combustion engine. So it proves that we're still going to be able to drive these cars later on. I'm noticing a few comments saying people can't wait for Adam C Fest, so that's all good.
It's at the karting track, isn't it?
Yes, Wilson Mill Karting, Northamptonshire, so it's in the middle of the country, and it's a unique location because I'm parking the show cars on an outdoor karting track. So you get to park your cars on the circuit with the rumble strips, and there's the Chaser. There it is. Is it finished now? Because it's white. Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, that's it, because it's white.
Yeah.
And it looks like a Chaser.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm going to put the yellow headlights in. So there we are.
Yellow down the bottom, yep. So the signature at the bottom, is that in the same single line?
It is. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. So nice. The IAN and the C going through it is part of the initial outline.
Yeah.
I can now see, like, weirdly, that outline looks very similar to an R34. It's very strange. Sometimes cars do that. You go, oh yeah.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was thinking, it reminded me of something, but I couldn't quite place it.
Yeah,
but,
it's very, and I've done a couple of those.
Yeah.
So, Adam C Fest.
Yes.
That's exciting. So, obviously, it was the first one last year.
Last year was the first one. We had about 3,000 people attend, so couldn't have asked for much better than that.
I mean, have you had any pro aces at that? Have you?
Maybe in the spectator car park.
Oh!
I didn't have much of a chance to look around that car park, so I don't know. But no, I have to say there weren't many. We had a Volkswagen Caddy section, if we're talking about vans. So there was a Volkswagen Caddy display section in the show, and the Caddy Owners Club, the Caddy Crew, Caddy Collective. They will be back again this year.
Is there anything that you know is definitely coming along that you think, ooh, looking forward to that?
Someone said that she might come with her father's Ford GT40. It will be a recreation, but obviously we had 2 Cobra replicas last year, as well as my one, but we didn't have any GT40s. That would be nice. But I'm most looking forward to the top 25 section, which I'm going to be parking on the grid of the karting track. So we call it the Friends of Adam C section, and that's a collection of cars that are hand-picked by me that already have their show car passes that are being parked right at the front of the circuit, right next to the trade stands, the stage, and near my cars. And in maybe within the next month, I'm going to be putting it out there for people to apply for that main section. And I'm looking forward to that and seeing what applicants we get, because last year there were some fantastic cars. We had this Time Attack Mitsubishi Eclipse. We had a white chaser, obviously. This year I might not put a white chaser on the grid because it will maybe outdo my white chaser.
yeah. You'd be like, that one's out in the car park.
Yeah, that one, you can stay on the road. I've just been asked whether I'm going to bring it to the US one day. That's a good one. Maybe in the future there'll be an Adam C Fest US, but the trouble is my audience is very, very heavily UK based.
But very enthusiastic. I've seen,
yes.
I mean, because you popped along to Autosport, and straight away people are like, are you Adam C?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I am.
Yeah. So I'd say, I think it doesn't sound like much, but about a third of my audience are UK, and then the rest are all spread out through the other country. This is YouTube. I think on Instagram it's going to be more like 40% are UK. But yes, I did go to the US last year. Went to SEMA.
Oh, you went with Chiro and the guys, didn't you?
Yep, with the petrol headers and boys. So that was fantastic. But weirdly, the views weren't quite how they are for my UK content. Because I filmed the UK car scene, that's what people follow for. So I filmed US events and people didn't necessarily feel like they fancied watching it as much as a UK video. So we will be back.
And that show is insane, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, there's nothing else like it, yeah.
It's quite a thing to. I mean, I've never been to it, but I was there a week before it once when I created out in Vegas, and it's just when Vegas itself is just crazy anyway. So I just imagine a crazy city with a bit more insaneness to it.
Yeah, and the best part for me is the big rollout at the end. So all of the cars in the show just drive out in a big parade to like a secondary show on the last day. And I think that was my favourite video to film on the day, because I was just sat there doing my usual commentary, talking rubbish about the cars that are driving by. I was actually kind of, the American audience that were in the lineup on the road next to me, they're obviously not familiar with who I am, but they were kind of joining in and guessing my British like sarcastic humour and laughing along with the video as well. So that was always fun to kind of, initially I was like, who's this weird British kid who's chatting rubbish about the cars driving by? And then they kind of started joining in and laughing about it. There's a lot of comments asking me about the Motorist, or the Motorist Hub.
Yes.
And asking you to let me know how good it is, because I don't think I've ever been there.
You've not been? You should.
I should.
You should go, yes. One, because there's some amazing artworks on the wall.
Oh, there?
yeah, there are some amazing artworks on the wall.
Yeah.
So, you go in there and go, oh my God, those paintings are done with radio control cars. Yeah. They look amazing.
They must have taken days.
They must have been done by a really talented artist.
Yes.
So, yes, there's some artwork there. It's really nice. It's 2 hours from here. But they also increasingly getting busier and busier on the weekends. Like they are Sundays now for them is heaving. So
I might be going up towards York in like May time, so I might detour my way past it. I want to travel more though. So on the 26th of March, I will be in Cornwall for a birthday trip. And the plan was to go in my girlfriend Chloe's Toyota IQ, and then the Cornish lot found out that I was in their neck of the woods. So the Cornish JDM Car Club, amongst a list of maybe 5+ other car clubs, have come together and they are hosting a car meet in my honour to celebrate me being in Cornwall. So
that's really cool. That's properly cool.
That's good.
That's cool, isn't it? That's nice.
There's a Facebook event page for it, so it's almost like a birthday meet for me.
You'll hopefully see on the camera. There is the wheels have been drawn in.
There they are.
There we are. You can even look out your window and see it as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There we are.
We're going to do some yellow spotlights because I do have my lower lights are yellow in colour. It's quite JDM, and I've got my purple lights inside as well, which add a bit of a glow to my face, which is nice.
So in terms of obviously you've got your own event, and you've got what other events are you looking forward to this year? Because you kind of get a diary together. So and you're saying some events are really good for the content. So what ones are you particularly looking forward to?
So, my diary is from now till October. There's not really a weekend without something in it. I think chronologically, I would say the Cornish JDM meet for my birthday weekend at the end of March in Cornwall. I'm looking forward to that.
So do you know where in Cornwall? Because obviously Cornwall's a whole place. Do you know where in Cornwall?
This is going to sound just as vague, but it's going to be hosted at Cornwall Services.
Okay.
There is a service station in Cornwall, and I think it's literally just called Cornwall Services or Cornish Services, and that's where it's going to be hosted. Then obviously we've got Petrol Hedonism Underground, again in the Chaser. And then on the 1st of May, got Adam C Fest in hopefully all 4 of my cars. I'm just trying to find a way to get the Cobra and the MG traded up there. Then I can drive this, Chloe can drive the Nissan. Then after that is a good question, because I haven't got Le Mans booked this year yet.
I think it's real. I think from what I've heard, it's quite sold out.
It's sold out and expensive, more expensive than it has been. And Le Mans Classic. Last year, I broke down in the Cobra and it cost me £1,000 to get the Cobra home because I didn't have breakdown cover. Good with Festival of Speed, always a good one.
Yeah. I can confirm I'm there.
Yeah, of course.
I'm there, I've got to stand there. So, pretty much the same area as last year. So I'm really looking for both Speed and Revival I will be at.
I love getting home from a car meet and just collapsing and not being able to lift a finger or anything because I know that I've used 100% of my ability, and I don't know if you have the same feeling if you get back after a weekend of doing shows.
I mean, if I've had a really good event, and I have that buzz and kind of like, it's just gone well, and it's just been really nice to see people, and it just has a nice atmosphere to it.
I like those events because you're like you've done well, you've made the most of it. Trouble is, I am a driver. I enjoy my manual cars, manual gearboxes. I like driver's cars. I like downshifting, all this, the noise, the driving experience, and I'm actually quite good at karting. As are you, or is it banger racing that you're more into?
Award-winning banger racer.
Award-winning banger racer.
There we are. I've got an actual trophy. We were talking about this earlier off, and look.
There it is.
Solid plastic.
Real plastic, genuine
plastic with a bit of metal.
Yeah.
And it says Motor Racing Live.
Wow.
So I won a thing.
Yeah. So I have been historically good and quick at karting, but I don't actually really get to drive properly. Like I never take a car out for a drive. I'm always driving to get somewhere. My cars are machines, they are vessels to get me from A to B, which sounds horrendous for a car guy to say, but literally it's turned into my job in a way to go to car shows. So I need my cars to be reliable to actually get me to the show, then I can show the car off, make a video of them. Rarely do I have the time to just take a car out for a spin along some roads. And track days as well. I did one track day last year in my 350Z. I've done a few in my dad's Noble before, but it's a shame it's come to this, but because YouTube is what I do, track days don't get the views. People don't want to see videos of cars going around a track in a controlled environment, so it's difficult to encourage myself to do track days because they just don't get the views. And even though I enjoy that, I also enjoy going to a car show. I'd much rather go to a car show instead. So maybe I just do more karting, go karting in the week just for myself, and then stick to weekends for car shows.
Nearly there.
Chaser coming.
I have added the rear boot spoiler because you did mention that you might be taking that off.
Yeah, so in April, I may or may not have booked the Chase into a body shop to have the spoiler removed. I know this is kind of counterintuitive. You think, oh, a spoiler on a car, that's a thing that you put on a car. It's an upgrade. Why would you take a spoiler off? But personally, I prefer the look of a flat boot, or maybe even a ducktail, but that'll be in the future. So I need to have the spoiler removed, and it's not something I can just unscrew myself or unstick myself, because you then need to fill the holes and and level it out from where the spoiler was, and then blend in the paint and get it painted and everything. So that's maybe booked in for a few weeks' time. So the spoiler won't forever be on the car, but the car will undergo changes anyway. So this drawing that you're doing now will be maybe like a look to how the car once was. It won't be quite as drastic as when you drew the Nissan. it was blue and now it's yellow. It won't be quite that drastic a change, but I will be changing this car and I'll hopefully reveal the final-ish look at my show. So I've only got 2 months to get this car built to how I want it. Are we putting a number plate in?
I am, and is that number plate staying as it is?
No, could you space it differently?
Space it differently?
So J2X, then return the line YT, because this is what it's meant to spell. So this is a JZX, is the code name for the Chaser and the Toyota Cresta, the Mark II, etc. So J2X is meant to spell JZX, and then YT is short for YouTube.
Oh, I see.
Because I'm a YouTuber, and if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have this car. I couldn't get J2X AC though, because that's on a BMW 2 Series, unfortunately.
You've already tried to get that one.
Yeah, that was the first thing. J2X AC would be great. My initials, can't do it. So I thought, what's next best? Well, YT for YouTube, because as I said, if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have this car. And it was the cheapest number plate out there. It was 250 quid.
I've got a plate for my van as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's
BX68YTN. Doesn't spell anything, I'm just coming up with a random.
Oh, right.
No.
I was just like, what does that spell?
Exactly. It is a personalised plate, is it?
So it's PB.
I was going to say PB, yeah.
So Popbang.
Yeah.
6, but for the C, so Popbangcolour.
Yeah.
And then 4 art.
Very good.
So Popbangcolour
for art. I like that.
Whereas on this car, which is a Chevrolet Spark,
yep.
but I call it the Spark because all my art cars have art in them.
Yep.
But when I was at the traffic lights up there here in Cov, some kids yelled at me, 5p art.
Oh, yes,
and
I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
You're kind of right there, guys.
5p art.
5p. You've devalued my artwork.
You can't get anything for 5p anymore, so that is a selling point if it was true.
If it was, yeah. Come here for really cheap artwork.
Yeah.
Really cheap artwork.
Well, one thing this car does have, because it's very 90s, is it has a coin holder.
Nice.
On the dashboard, just behind the wipers. It's about, I'd say, maybe an inch in width, so you can maybe, or just under, 2 centimetres. So you can fit 2 centimetres worth of coins in this little coin holder on the dash.
Does it have CD or is it cassette? What is it in there?
Well, it does have an upgraded sound system. It's got a Pioneer CD player with a touchscreen. But on the way up here, I tried putting a CD in it and it just spat it out again, didn't like it.
It was like, nah.
It's like, nah.
So, nah, I don't want that. So here we are. So right, let's get in a bit more white because, you know, white paper, white car.
Yeah. Are the wheels white as well?
Wheels are white.
Good, good.
Wheels are white.
Just to remind the people watching, I am sat inside the Chase. It's not it's not a very exciting car visually inside, but I do have a nice pattern on the seats. I don't know how visible that is. So I'm a fan of the patting on the seats. This is the Series 2 car of the JZX 100, so it's got a nice different pattern inside it. And it's got a very 90s smell about it as well.
Smell of the 90s.
It's got the smell of older 90s.
What's a selling point?
Yeah. In fact, one of the guys that had this car previously, he imported this car and he drove it around for a year, and 2 of my friends actually spotted this car when it was in his ownership and sent me pictures of it saying, oh look, I found a white Chaser. And now I ended up buying it. But yeah, he saw the car yesterday and he got in it and was like, oh yes, I remember that smell.
People have asked at many shows before, have I done a white Chaser?
Yeah.
Because they wanted stickers and stuff, and now I'm like, well, I've not only drawn a white Chaser, I've drawn the most important and well-known white Chaser.
The white Chaser.
The white Chaser.
So this is your first Chaser you've drawn?
This is my very first Chaser.
Yeah. Have you drawn any Supras?
Many Supras.
Supras,
yeah.
Skylines, I'd imagine, yeah.
R34, every era of Skyline I've drawn.
What about like a Lexus, like a big barge, 90s Lexus, like a Sora?
Not yet. I should do. There are certain ones in the catalogue that I haven't hit upon quite yet.
Yeah.
So there we are. You can see it on the screen.
Oh, there it is.
There you are. You can actually see it in real life. Adam, over here.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that you're also there. I'm like fixated, trying to. Why have you turned it away? Oh, look at that.
There we are. There we are. Hope you like it. I hope everybody likes it online.
Yeah.
That is for you.
That's for me to keep.
Thank you very much for coming
This is number 4 of 4.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So don't buy any more cars.
I promise.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna Oh yeah, see ya, bye. Yeah. To see more continuous car drawings being created, you can follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Go on, smash all the like buttons and other things.